Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for all of the kind words and advice about what to do about the bird. It is a grackle. She made it through the night and she hopped herself into the food dish where she was at this morning, and still on her side, she really can't stay up. So I don't know what she did. It was such a weird thing because the window is right next to the front door, which is in the porch. We lived there 3 years and nothing's ever happened like that. The other birds that I've found before where I've just helped have been ones that have been ran over and they're just in the street, and I don't want them to be victims of a predator. So I usually give them, a situation like this, and they usually pass in the night. But the fact that she made it is great. So she's made it. She was hit yesterday at 4. It's 12:41. So, I mean, she's made it almost 20 hours, which is a really good sign. I've never taken an animal to the rehabilitation center here because they've never made it. So this is about, it was 39 miles from my house. So we came down here, and there's like this really nice nature preserve here. So we're just kind of walking around. The Arboretum is across the street. It has a hefty admission price, so we're not going. We're just walking around here, my son and I, and just taking everything in. So they took her back, told us it was a grackle, and then somebody kind of ran up and they said they're taking the bird right back to the vet. And I said, are they going to euthanize her or rehabilitate her? And they said that they don't know. And I was like, well, can I wait? And they're like, wait. I was like, yeah, can I wait to find out? And they're like, no, you can send an email and we'll write back to you, but like in 48 hours. We filled out the information for her, for our grackle, and so they have that information. I guess they'll match up, because they said just to include everything I put on the intake form in my email, and that was that. They're very busy. There was like no parking here. So it seems like it's just a busy season for wildlife. Probably a lot of animals are getting wounded because they're protecting their nests. It's their nesting and mating season. So here in Minnesota, even a robin is a native bird. So if anybody were to harm them in any way, it's a fine. It's a hefty fine. And so we were building our house 3 years ago, and one of the big name builders, unalived some robins, and it was a mess because they had made a nest where our porch was being built, and so probably right about the same time. And I would go and watch the nest every day and tell everybody, I'm fine with the nest here. The porch isn't going to get finished until, this part. So just leave the nests. Well, I went to check on the house, and it was very, very obvious that someone took the nest down and unalived the babies that had hatched and the robin. So I called the DNR, and the DNR came out and made contact with the builders, and like I say, they're a big name, and told them that if they have one more infraction, then it's $10,000 per offense. I'm like, that's not good enough to just slap their hand for what they did here. And it was just a really sad thing for me. So I've been really careful because when builders come through, they take land that the migratory birds and the native birds have had as their nesting area for hundreds of years. And so to not make those same spaces available to them is not anything I'm interested in. And so I keep a feeder in the front, and they eat so much. I couldn't last year because of the bird flu. They wouldn't let us have feeders at all, and they lost a ton of birds in that. I used to have a really pretty hawk that would come. I named him Bruce, and I've not seen Bruce back. We used to have several owls, and I only hear a couple. So I actually looked it up too, because it seems to me that when I was younger, I would see birds in the sky all the time. And although I live somewhere different now, I I just don't see birds. And you'd think you'd see birds in the sky. You really don't. I was born in 72, so I looked it up, and it said that there have been 5 billion birds lost in the last 50 years. So we're losing 1 billion birds every 10 years. At this rate, there won't be birds for our children unless we do things like this and make sure that builders that harm them are held responsible. Call the DNR, take pictures, call the DNR and get them fined, get the big builders fined. And if you find a wounded bird like we did, do everything that Possum Wrangler said in the comment thread, and I'll put another thing up. Just basically keep them in a box overnight until you can find a wildlife rehabilitation center that is open, and they're not open at night. Like this one is open 10 to 6. So just, if they stay through the night, they usually can do pretty good. So I think I think Grackle has a really good sign. So thanks all of you for who looked and who gave me advice and sent positive energy, because it worked and we've got her here. So she's got a good chance. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Thanks again. Bye-bye.